Hi, Kurt.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm sitting in my backyard having a beer.
Oh, that's good. And you're getting ready to head down to Australia.
Yeah, I am.
Have you played in Australia before?
Yes, about 20 years ago.
About 20 years ago. It's been a long time between drinks. So are you looking forward to coming back?
Very much so. I loved it the last time. So the only time I've been there, so I'm way looking forward to it.
Right. And this time you've actually not only got your brother coming out in the band, you've actually got your son in the band.
Yeah.
How cool is it for you to be playing alongside your son nowadays?
Oh, it's the best. He's, one of my favorite players, and it's great to get to hang out with him, and then he and I play real well together, and we've been playing together for a long time, so it's a no-brainer.
Do you have any other children that play instruments and stuff like that?
No, my son has a twin sister, also named Kat, and she just bought a violin, but I think she just bought it because she just wanted to have one. She's never played an instrument, really.
Well, the Meat Puppets have been going since 1980, and you have had a couple of breaks in there, and you've had some different players in the band and that. But when you started out as kids, did you ever imagine that you'd still be going, 34 years later?
No, I didn't think ahead back then when I was a kid. I lived for the day, but I never really wanted to do anything else. I pretty much blew off everything else, every other opportunity I had or whatever. I felt like I'd found my place.
If you hadn't gone into music, is there something else you would have done? You've dabbled in a bit of art yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. Do some paintings now and then and whatnot. I've done the majority of the album covers and I'll do the odd painting here and there, lots of doodles.
Yeah. Well, I see your brother Chris on your website's got his own art gallery going now.
Yeah, he draws a lot of cool pictures.
You also, back then when you started out, you couldn't have imagined probably the wild ride that you were going to have in the Meat Puppets. I mean, you had the highest of highs really going on MTV with Nirvana and also the lowest of lows. You've had a few problems with some of your band members getting caught up and yourself on occasion being caught up in the dark side of the music industry. What sort of advice would you give a young Kurt who was just starting out to try and avoid some of that?
Oh, it's hard to give advice. It's a slippery business. I think for the most part, it's been great for me, and really, I can't complain that much. Personally just haven't had that many face plants or anything. I haven't had too much trouble in it. It's always been enjoyable. I would say just about every time I listen to somebody else's advice, that's been a problem.
Oh.
So, I learned that really early on, though. I always kind of knew that if I trust my intuition, everything's pretty much fine. It's just that kind of a business, and it's one of the things I like about it. I can be an independent thinker and follow that means, and it works.
Yeah, and you've released 13 studio albums along the way. Is there another one in the works at the moment? Do you think there'll be more to come?
Oh yeah, I'm working on something.
Do you know when we might see it?
Oh no, it's in the formative stages right now. I'm kind of in the place where I don't really, it's kind of a mystery. I'm just waiting for it to kind of pop up, little pieces pop up here and there, and just have to kind of put it together and wait for something kind of cohesive. Not very disciplined. Stuff just has to arise.
I guess, like, most people would assume straight away that doing the MTV thing with Nirvana was the highlight of your career, but I don't know if you feel that on a personal level. Is there something else that you feel was a true highlight?
Well, that was a remarkable thing and definitely a highlight, and I've had some other stuff. Not quite so much visibility. That was the highlight of career visibility, I would say. I've had some hits here in the States on the radio. I think comparing that way, but at the same time, I'm one of those people. It's like, I think you're only as good as your last gig, So it's you have a terrible gig and you think you suck, or you have a great gig and you think, okay, there's something to top. And That happens a lot, where you've had a fantastic gig, too many to mention, where you personally think you just covered some ground musically or something, and I mean, there's a lot of highlights. The Nirvana thing was undoubtedly the most visibility, though, and it's an easy go-to. Well, I did that, and it's kind of hard to beat that one in anybody's eyes. I mean, myself, I can say, well, I had this, but it's personal stuff that it would kind of pale in comparison to that. But that was a real short period of time, I practiced that show for a week and then did the show, and then the rest of it's been residual, so my involvement is only, responding to questions about it, or I think about it now and then, or, I mean, it's something I guess you could gloat on a little bit and go, wow, that was fantastic. But for me, that part of it comes from the fact that they were really good that night. I think they put on an amazing show and made a great recording, and I'm lucky to have a few songs in there. But that's mostly on them, they were fantastic. So I was glad to have been there, and that was a highlight as a audience member. In any case, it was some of the best shows I've ever seen as well.
Yeah. As you said, that was probably your most visible point in your career, but you were influencing a lot of bands that a lot of people know nowadays, like Nirvana and Soundgarden and Dinosaur Jr. How does it feel to know that you had that effect on bands who went on to do such great things, or, such visible things, I guess?
Yeah, it's kind of mystifying. I don't really see it. I don't know where they're getting that from. I'll take their word for it. I know all those people, and they've told me, they like it, and I respond by saying I like their band too.
That's cool. And I should tell people you actually do have a website, which is themeatpuppets.com, and you are on Facebook, facebook.com/meatpuppets. And people can go there and give you a like, of course, but, well, I mean, the music industry has completely changed since you started, like, from back in the days getting your songs out on vinyl to now such a digital world, and with Facebook and things like that. How do you feel about social media and stuff like that? Do you use it yourself?
No. I email, and stuff that's interesting gets passed to me by the people that tend to the other things. My manager is really active with that and with the .com stuff, and if there's something that needs to be attended to with that, I'll do it. But, I kind of missed the boat there. I never really made the transition other than texting and emailing. And I think it's really cool. It's amazing, the whole internet. It's fantastic. And it's great to have the instant responses, and you see your show posted immediately and all that stuff. I always liked, back in the day, that was like bootlegging was a great thing. We always have had people come and tape stuff, and you could have tapes passed around, and we've always, welcomed and encouraged people to record us live. And so it kind of segued into that, as much networking as we could do, just because it's fun, cool, and also because it's like that kind of openness, the exclusivity, and really fit in with the punk rock thing. So, but I never really adapted to it. I don't have any opinion about it one way or the other. I just don't do it all the time.
And you don't have to if you don't want to, because there's other people who are willing to do it for you.
Yeah.
So when you do come to Australia, you are, of course, headlining the 2 Cherry Rock festivals in Melbourne and Sydney. And you've got 2 other shows outside of that, one in Brisbane at the Zoo and one in Perth, which you'll be at the Zoo on the 30th of May and Perth on the 2nd of June.
We added Adelaide too, I think.
All right. Haven't got the Adelaide one here, but I'm sure that it'll be on your social media. So when people do come to see your show, are you going to be doing some of your classic tracks as well as some of the new ones, or are you going to be focusing on the newer stuff? Or
no, we do it from the start to the end. There's all kinds of stuff.
Well, when you do your independent shows outside of Cherry Rock, how long do you generally spend on stage?
Well, it depends on how much time we got. You go 2 hours plus, and if there's time for it, we don't really have a set thing. we just have a list of songs that we know currently, more or less, and then whatever we think of. We don't really use a set list.
Right. You know, it's the first Cherry Rock Festival being held in Sydney.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a Melbourne institution, and it's the first one that's going to Sydney, and you're headlining it. So,
Well,
another milestone, a little one.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I'm sure people are going to have an absolute ball when they do come to see you and get a feel of, like you said, it's been 20 years since you've been here. You've only been here once, so there's probably very few people in Australia who have had the chance to actually see you play live.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's been a while, a whole new generation.
Can I actually ask you, it does say on Wikipedia that you and your brother, when you were young, you bought adjoining houses. Is that true? Like adjacent houses?
Yeah, well, the band all lived together for the first 5 years, and then I had kids, and it got crowded, and we still lived together, and then eventually we were able to get our houses, and yeah, I lived next door to him. We practiced in the garage behind his house at that point.
So are you still living next door to each other, or?
No, he lives in Phoenix, and so does my son. I live in Austin, Texas.
Right. Do you say your son lives in Phoenix as well?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you have to travel to them for rehearsals nowadays?
Yeah, we don't rehearse. It doesn't help.
You've been doing it long enough.
Yeah. We mess around some. We've always been that way. We know this stuff. Can't really rehearse for what we do live. It doesn't work. You can rehearse as much as you want, but the live thing always pulls you a different way, it seems.
Yeah. I'll mention again, you are facebook.com/meetpuppets or themeetpuppets.com, your website. Thank you very much. It has been really good talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you play when you do get down here.
Yeah.
Okay, so have a good day then.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.